All right, hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is an educational channel, and we try to turn you on to great theories, concepts, and discoveries you might not be familiar with. But if you are, they would benefit your life in constant, in what's the word? Uh, uh, we'll just say many ways. And this is a segment that is called the Q-tip of the spear, where we cover the coverage of the cutting edge of the info war. And yesterday I was talking about just watching some World Cup highlights and all the other nations. And you can just tell that these third world nations, um, the people are just getting fatter and fatter and fatter over the course of the decades. And that has been a big thread on some of the social media. A lot of people are coming into this country and they're just amazed that like you get unlimited refills on soda and the huge portions that you get at, at these restaurants, and just probably a lot of it is like the MSG and other excitotoxins that they put in the food, restaurant food, and just the barbecue and the uh, onion rings and all that. Um, so that's what we're known for, and that's why 70% of our population is overweight, adult population, and some deep state judge just ruled against the restrictions of the food stamp program for no soda and candy. And they're like, soda and candy is food. You should be able to get that with your food stamps. But then, the commentator that I was listening to said, oh, well, they should just drop off milk and egg and cheese and bread, to your house, and that's all you get. And I think that's exactly the right idea, exactly the wrong way to execute it. You know, just give them the bare minimum that they need. No, no frills. And so I'm just saying no meat at all, no bread, cheese, or eggs, but give them fruit and vegetables, you know, fruit and vegetables, and maybe something. I don't know what that would be. um but so that is one thing. Another is related to that, um and I'm trying to remember what it is. uh yeah, well, it also has to do with like government proposal, and that would be, um and this is more, uh you know i I don't necessarily take this seriously. It's kind of maybe an idea that you have that maybe could turn into something else. I'm not trying to, um, you know, reinstate slavery or anything like that. Uh, I I might be trying to reinstate indentured servitude, though. A lot of the um, immigrants in the early colonial period came into this country as indentured servants, where you come in and you get to, you know, you're basically a slave for 7 years. You work for somebody for 7 years, But then you get your freedom, and you get, um, they give you a little piece of land and a chicken and a cow or whatever, and some shovels and other tools, and let you go at it. So it's a period of slavery, but it ends, and then you're good to go. So it's just kind of like you have to pay for your trip over here. And then you have a lot of, and that's actually what happened to my family, at least on my dad's side. I did a video about that, about free blacks in North Carolina and Virginia, and a lot of them were free. It's a long story, but um, a lot of them ended up having to just do 7 years of indentured servitude, and then they were given their freedom. Um, and then you kind of combine that with the idea of reparations, and maybe you apply the reparations um, to people who were in indentured servitude. So you say that those people get reparations, um, similar to, but maybe not as much as, or something, uh, 7 years as opposed to 70 years, um, as a slave. Uh, and that's how you deal with the illegal, the illegal immigrants. you, you tell them you, you have X amount of time to get out of the country, and then if you don't, when we catch you, we're putting you into indentured servitude, and you're going to work for one of these ex-slaves or one of these ex-indentured servants. You're going to be their servant for 7 years. you know so I think that would get rid of a lot of people. A lot of people would voluntarily leave if they thought that, if they got caught, that they would uh, be sold into indentured servitude. And that would be a way to pay the reparations that the, you know, so-called ex-slaves, which is just a grift, So this is kind of a cynical proposal, but it's something that maybe there's something there on some level, for um, some kind of suggestion. But, in general, I really have not been paying much attention to the InfoWar, the war between the globalists and the patriots. I believe that the patriots have won the war. The globalists are circling the drain, particularly the middle level players. You can see the panic. You can see the lashing out. You can see the infighting, and this is all symptomatic of people who lost. And but they have to play out the events very slowly so that normal people can digest it. And so um, you're not a normal person, probably, if you're watching this. And so that means that the events are not for you. The events that you're watching on your screen or whatever are not designed for you. And you're better off not watching them because they're triggering, because they're maddening, because they're so stupid, absurd, ridiculous, and the like. And so you're much better off tuning those out and going and trying to red pill yourself further, because we're going to the implementation phase and we're going to implement our agenda. But if our agenda is all, uh, you know, messed up with deep state propaganda, then we're no better off than we were before, if not worse. And that's kind of what I'm talking about with the guy who's saying, drop off bread, eggs, and cheese, and uh, whatever the other thing was, eggs, uh, bread. I don't remember what it was, but you know, that's because this person has been indoctrinated with by the dairy industry and the meat industry about what is good for you. Um, Common sense tells you otherwise. Statistics tell you otherwise. Unfortunately, there haven't been enough studies on people who eat fruit and vegetables primarily to show how good their health is. And that's why I have some videos on my channel under the rubric of the cardiomaniac. And but that is an example of how we're going to implement our ideals, except that they haven't been scrutinized for deep state propaganda like we've scrutinized a lot of other things. And so use your digging skills to improve yourself before you get to the implementation stage. Okay, like, share, subscribe, comment, contribute, and come back tomorrow for another episode of Q-Tip of the Spear. Thanks for tuning in today. Have a great day.